Do you know what hay actually does to your horse when they eat it every single day? Most owners think it's just basic feeding, but what's really happening inside their body is something most people have no idea about. It changes how their gut functions, how they feel, even how they behave around you. And one thing you're probably doing right now could be quietly working against everything. Here's what kicks in from day one.
1. Their gut never actually stops working, and that's the whole point. Have you ever wondered why horses can't just eat 2 meals a day like a dog? It's not a management inconvenience, it's biology. A horse's stomach is surprisingly small for their size, only about 8 to 15 liters, and it produces stomach acid constantly. Not when they eat, constantly, 24 hours a day, whether there's food in there or not. In the wild, horses graze between 16 and 20 hours a day. They were never designed to have an empty stomach. The steady flow of hay keeps a buffer in there, neutralizing that acid before it starts eating away at the stomach lining. When horses go more than 4 to 6 hours without forage, that acid has nothing to work against. And that's exactly how gastric ulcers develop. Studies show that up to 90% of performance horses and 60% of leisure horses have ulcers, and most owners have no idea. Daily hay isn't just feeding, it's the foundation that keeps everything else working.
2. Their hindgut runs an entire ecosystem, and hay keeps it alive. Most people think digestion is simple. Food goes in, nutrients come out, but in horses, most of the real work happens in the hindgut, a massive fermentation system that makes up nearly 60% of their entire digestive tract. Inside the cecum and large colon live billions of microbes, bacteria, protozoa, fungi, a living colony that ferments fiber from hay and turns it into volatile fatty acids. That's actually the horse's main source of energy, not grain, fermented fiber. When hay is consistent and plentiful, that microbial colony stays balanced and stable. But when forage is suddenly reduced, changed, or replaced with high-starch feed, the population crashes. Different bacteria take over, the pH drops, and that's when you get gas colic, hindgut acidosis, and in serious cases, laminitis. A study published in the Journal of Animal Science confirmed that horses on consistent, high-forage diets maintain significantly healthier hindgut pH levels and lower rates of digestive disturbance. The microbes need daily hay the same way you need daily food. Disrupt that, and the whole system pays for it.
3. Their behavior tells you everything before any vet visit will. Does your horse weave in their stall, crib on fences, bite the air? Most owners chalk it up to quirky personality or boredom. But here's what's actually happening. Horses have a deep neurological need to chew. The act of chewing triggers calming responses in the brain. It releases endorphins, lowers cortisol, and satisfies a foraging instinct that's millions of years old. When horses don't have access to continuous forage, that instinct doesn't switch off. It just gets redirected. Cribbing, weaving, stall walking, these are called stereotypies. And research from the Applied Animal Behavior Science Journal found a direct link between limited forage access and the development of these behaviors. Horses on free-choice hay were significantly less likely to develop them in the first place. When you provide consistent daily hay, ideally available most of the day, that mental need gets met. The restlessness settles. The stall vices often reduce or stop developing entirely. Your horse isn't being difficult. Their brain is looking for what it was built to do all day long.
4. Their weight is more about timing than quantity. Here's something that surprises most horse owners. 2 horses can eat the same amount of hay and end up at completely different weights. How? Because it's not just about how much they eat. It's about when the gaps happen. When a horse goes hours without forage, the body reads that as scarcity. Cortisol rises, metabolism slows, and when food finally comes, the body becomes more efficient at storing energy, particularly as fat, and particularly in those classic cresty neck and top line fat deposits that signal metabolic trouble. Horses evolved for slow, continuous intake, not feast and fast cycles. Slow feeders and hay nets that stretch forage across more hours can genuinely change body condition, not by reducing calories, but by eliminating the hormonal response that makes the body hold on to everything. For easy keepers especially, the solution often isn't less hay, it's slower hay.
5. The one thing that quietly undoes all of it. So if hay does all of this, where does it go wrong? This is the part most owners miss, and it doesn't matter how much hay you're putting out if this one thing is off: quality. Hay looks like hay, but what's inside varies enormously depending on when it was cut, how it was stored, whether it got rained on, and how long it's been sitting. Dusty hay, moldy hay, or hay that's lost most of its nutritional value through poor storage doesn't just underdeliver, it can actively cause respiratory issues, especially heaves and inflammatory airway disease. And here's the part that surprises people. Hay that looks fine can still be the problem. Mold spores aren't always visible. A simple soaking or steaming of hay before feeding dramatically reduces the spore load and is one of the most overlooked changes an owner can make. Beyond mold, hay that's low in nutrients quietly creates deficiencies over time in magnesium, vitamin E, selenium that show up months later as muscle weakness, poor coat, anxiety, or slow recovery. Get the hay right and everything on this list compounds. Let the quality slide, and even the best feeding schedule starts to fall apart. Your horse can't tell you when something is off inside, but their gut, their behavior, and their body will. And most of the time, the answer starts with what's in the hay rack. Get that right every single day, and you're giving them exactly what they were built for.